Well, welcome to Age Friendly here on Rogers TV, and we're going to be talking tonight about the RFDA. Now, you might or might not know what that means, but June Gaw, the chair of the board, is my guest, and we're going to be talking about the RFDA. So, June, what is that acronym, or we'll say the short form for it? What does that actually mean?
The RFDA, as we are most commonly known, stands for the Regional Food Distribution Association.
And I don't think many people really know that. They think about RFDA, and that's what they know.
That's right. And many people think we are a food bank. But actually what we are is a food bank for food banks. We're a distribution center. We supply food to all of the food banks in the city and in the region, as well as the feeding programs and many agencies. I think we have about 45 members at the present time.
That's a lot.
Yes,
so
it is.
How does the food get to you before you can distribute it out?
Well, we get donations. We get food from Feed Ontario, of which we are a member, also from Food Banks Canada, which is the national organization, and then donations from stores, from grocery stores, from people, the community, whatever. And we have one food drive a year only that we do ourselves, a fall one, Harvest for Hunger, but other organizations hold food drives and supply us with food as well.
All right, you get all the food that comes to you, and you're on the Syndicate Avenue.
That's right.
That's where your big warehouse is.
Yes.
I've been in it a few times.
Yes.
So when you're there, then you redistribute all that food out. Now, can you explain that a little bit so people would understand?
Certainly. It comes to our warehouse, and we rely totally on volunteers. And the volunteer segment of our organization is tremendous. So they come in and they will sort the food according to the various types of food and get rid of, anything. If it's really, really outdated, we can't use it. It'll be disposed of. But most things are not. And so they sort it, and then all of our organizations, our members, they put in orders for food, and it's delivered to them, either weekly or bi-weekly.
Right. When we talk about members, we're talking about food banks and out in a district. It goes beyond the district.
Yes,
though.
it does.
So I think that's something we need to know.
Yes.
Like I looked at a map, and it's like you're in the way north. In fact,
we are right now servicing a lot of the northern communities. Yes, and the idea is to extend that. We will be making an announcement in the new year, and I'll hold off on that at the present time.
Okay,
but
we'll wait for that.
We'll wait for that one, right? But it is to ensure that all of the northern communities are getting enough healthy food to eat. It's not just sending food. We need to make sure that we're dealing with health issues and sending food that is healthy, vegetables, fruits, things like that, not just canned goods or junk food.
No, that's not good for anybody.
No, it's
to be
not.
honest with you. But I mentioned at the start that you were the chair of the board. You are run by a board, and I know there's about 8 or so people on your board.
We have nine board members. Yes.
And how do you get to serve? How do you get on the board?
Well, it's very difficult to get members these days.
I think that's for many organizations.
Yes, we have a nominating committee, but we do a lot of proactive work in approaching people to come on the board. It is so fulfilling. It really is. I've been involved with the RFDA since its inception.
Oh, that's a while now.
In 2003. And
That's
we became
20 years.
We became incorporated in 2008. And we have grown exponentially since then. It's just tremendous. The number of people that we're serving and the amount of food that goes through our warehouse in a year, it's unbelievable compared to what we were when we started way back in 2003.
Right. Weren't you in way on, I'm thinking of the street, where our kids count?
Our kids count, yes. They got the building from us when we moved out of there. Yeah.
I remember the what would you call it, with the trolley that, the
delivery truck would come and it would go on a trolley to go in the basement.
So you have really significantly
Yes,
grown
we've significantly grown. unfortunately, the need has significantly grown as well, and it's very difficult to keep up with it.
Right, and one of the things with the board, and do you as the chair work on a regular basis, like you have meetings, and if I was interested in serving on it,
Yes.
how would I go about getting on the board for
Well,
the
you would
RFDA?
contact the RFDA
Okay.
or myself directly. There's an interview process, and we have an AGM every September. And board members are elected at that point in time. However, we, as a board, we also can appoint if we have openings, and then they come up for election at the AGM, but they can be appointed throughout the year.
Correct, which is very, very good.
Yes, we are a governance board.
And I looked at the people that are listed. I don't know every single person, but you have a diverse group of people that are different ages and all the rest.
Yes, we do. And we really try to cover a lot of different areas that are needed, like legal and dietary, people that have backgrounds in those types of things so that they can contribute to the board.
One of the things somebody sitting watching today on our program might be saying, I wouldn't mind going and have a look at it, like a big warehouse full of food. It's like, what does that look like? Can you actually come and take a tour?
Yes, you can come anytime. We're open from 8 till 5. And anyone can come there and say, I'd really like to take a tour of the building and see what this is all about.
Right.
Because they can become our future volunteers, which is
never
what
know.
we always need.
Right.
Yeah.
You have I remember it's about 4 years ago that you purchased a great big potato that you can put the potatoes in and they come out in French fries or whatever else. That fascinated me because it could be done in no time. And that is used by other organizations in the community.
Yes. Actually, it is. We have several groups that come in and use our community kitchen.
Oh, all right.
Right, and we do our community kitchen coordinator, Tanner, he has a group where he teaches some special needs
that's
people
excellent. I didn't know that.
Yes, life skills.
Right.
Which is very important if they are going to live on their own or live in a group home. They learn how to cook various things for themselves.
Right, and if people wanted to come and cook in the community, in the kitchen, because it's accepted by the public health unit, they can do that.
Oh, definitely.
Or book it in?
Oh, definitely.
Right.
We have had entrepreneurs start up their businesses by using our community kitchen.
Right. And that's a wonderful opportunity.
Yes, it is.
You're starting off other businesses and all the rest of it.
And the offshoot is, servicing the community
That's
in a different
right.
way. Yeah.
And that's what you want to do.
Yes.
June, you're going to be talking in the next couple of segments that we have on our program about the RFDA. And we're going to talk about some of the things that are coming up for Christmas. Of course, it's that time of the year, and some of the things that we can help and address some of the needs for the seniors in our community. So very important, and the needs are growing in that area as well.
Yes, they definitely are.
And so, all right, well, we'll join again June Gar, the chair of the board for the RFDA, the Regional Food Distribution Association, our guest. Age Friendly, we're talking about the programs at the RFDA. June Gaw, the chair of the board of the RFDA, our guest. And June, one of the things that's really important, because this is a senior program for older adults, so how do you assist seniors? Because doing some pre-work for the program, I realized that senior needs for food banks is increasing huge. I had no idea until I did some research on that. Yeah, it's very significant.
Yeah, it is very disheartening, really. I run a food bank as well as being the chair of the RFDA.
Right.
And our numbers are increasing every 2 weeks. And I would say at least 65% of them are, the people that are coming now, my clients are seniors.
Right. And that, you shouldn't have to get to the end of your life and have to be going to a food bank.
No. That's
Not
right.
really.
Not really at all. No. I know, our children are our future, but we always have to remember and respect our past.
That's
and
a
our
very good way of
seniors
putting
are
it.
the ones who built us, who built this city or built our communities, put us where we are today. So we have to make sure that we look after them as well.
That's right.
Yeah.
And their needs are great. And if you, as I say, the percentage from where it was a few years ago to what it is now has grown exponentially.
Yes, it has.
And that, as I say, we've already alluded to it, but it's very in our community, recognizing that we have that, how does one then go about, if I'm a senior, I need food, I really do, maybe, and then so how do I do that? How do I get on the list?
It's so easy.
Okay,
All
how
right,
do we
it
do
really is. All one has to do is pick up the phone, dial 211. An operator at 211 will take information as to where you live, what your need is, whatever, and direct you to a food bank that is closest to your location.
All right, now do I have to go pick up the food, or how often
Yes,
do I get food?
Yeah, if you are capable of maneuvering, driving or getting a ride or whatever, then you are directed to a food bank to use. We also have a 211 program. And this is also handled through the RFDA. If a person is infirm or doesn't have a vehicle, is older, whatever, or some issue, we have delivery service. And we have a hired person who delivers probably up to 20, sometimes 25 hampers a day.
Oh my God!
I'm not kidding. Yeah,
that's a lot.
It is a lot, Rebecca. And thank goodness we have the resources to be able to do it still, because there's such a need out there.
If you were getting a hamper or a food box, I guess it's probably what you get it in, not necessarily a hamper, but if you do, like, what kind of food would be in that you would give to me?
Okay, we try to cover all of the food bases. So you
Like
get
a food guide kind of a thing?
pasta sauce. There's usually a craft dinner, because a lot of people like, put in a pot, boil, cook, right? And it's easy and simple. There will be meat, there will be canned vegetables, canned fruit, pork and beans, probably some cookies or crackers or something like that. As I mentioned, a meat product of some sort to give you protein. There could be milk, there could be eggs, fruit, fresh vegetables, whatever we happen to have at the time to give out. Yeah.
How long would that basket or food box last
It
me?
should last about 5 days.
All right.
For a single person.
So
5 to 6 days.
That's manageable.
A box of cereal, and there's peanut butter. Yeah, those. Yeah. So it's a
it's-
well-rounded
It's, as I say, the
variety of food.
Yeah, it would manage the food guide, so you're not getting overextended with just pastas, which you don't want to have all
exactly.
the time.
That's right.
You mentioned fresh foods. That's important, to be honest with you, June, because I don't know that. How do you get all of that so that it's like fresh vegetables or fruit, and then it goes bad? And then what do you? So you try to get this all out the door before it goes.
We try to get it out, but we
Okay.
also have a processing room now at the RFDA.
Yes, I'm aware of that. Yeah.
Yes, so that anything that's nearing the end of life, it's processed so that it can be then distributed in another form.
Right, which is
So
wonderful.
we don't lose anything.
No, and you don't want to, because
No,
that's
the price of food these days. No, we can't afford to have anything go to waste or
No.
to go to garbage cans.
with that. So we get so 211. Just call 211 if you're a person in our community that's sitting in your apartment watching this right now, and you do not have food, and we know there are people like that.
Yes.
Then call 211 and you'll get on the list. Is this like a huge like a lot of questions they've got to answer? Some people are
No.
private, or they don't want to share.
No, there's not a lot
but
of
they
questions.
need help.
They need help.
Yeah.
And if they feel uncomfortable, get a friend to call for them.
Oh, never thought about that.
You
Yeah.
know, or a relative, someone can call for them and register them.
Right, and so
It's better to be registered, to get somebody to ask for help for you, and be registered and get the food that you need.
Right. We mentioned in the last segment, June, that the geographic area is up into the north, but for the city of Thunder Bay, there are food banks in a number of locations, so you
Yes.
wouldn't have to necessarily be going all over the city for a basket.
No. There is several on the south side
Yeah.
and on the north side, so there's enough to service everyone wherever they are.
Right, and I'm also familiar with the one that goes out of Kekabeka,
Yes.
because they have they're growing too out there with the
Yes.
numbers.
The rural food bank, yes.
And that's because they were saying, "Oh my goodness, that like it never seems to end."
The numbers just keep increasing. I know.
No, it
We're
is.
running into this with every food bank
So,
and feeding program.
so if before we finish this segment, if you were sitting there and you're okay with food, how can I assist the food bank to say I'm or RFDA? How can I help?
Well, there are two ways, either by purchasing food and donating it, or by making a cash donation. and that can be made online. It can be made going right onto our website. There's a spot right there. You can do it right online. Going into the RFDA and taking your tour, and then leaving a donation.
And that's an easy way to do it.
That's a very easy way to do it.
And people are generous, and particularly at this time of the year.
Thunder Bay, Rebecca, I really have to say, Thunder Bay has a giant heart.
Yeah.
When we talk about my program, I just can't say enough about it, because
Right.
they've always come to, to make it a success and to give of themselves so much.
And it's so very important that we do that. You need to help your neighbors, and as best you can. If you have a little bit of extra, then share that around as
That's
best
what
you can.
life is all about, isn't it?
Well, I think it is. That's
Yes,
my personal
me too.
philosophy.
I think so too.
You
Yeah.
try to help people as best you can. But we're going to talk about be the reason for the season. I wrote that down so I wouldn't forget, but we have a little poster about it as well. But we're going to talk about that in the next segment. I don't know if it's a brand new program for you, but it's a program that why we are here at the Christmas season. So we'll leave it with that.
Okay.
June Gaw, my guest, who is the chair of the board for the RFDA, the Regional Food Distribution Association. And stay tuned, because we're going to find out about the reason for the season, and it'll be with us. And it's Christmas is just around the corner, June.
Yes,
It is
coming
Thanks.
quickly.
Here we are with Age Friendly, and we're talking about Be the Reason for the Season, and it's a program through the RFDA, and June Gaw, the chair of the board for the RFDA, is my guest. And June, this is your program, yours.
Yes, I love it.
Tell us about it.
All right, Be the Reason for the Season is a program, or it's a project that provides Christmas hampers to seniors, singles, and couples who would not normally be covered by Christmas cheer because they do not have children.
Right.
Right? So we have a huge segment of the population that is covered under this project. This year we're expecting to give out upwards of 1,500 hampers.
1,500.
1,500.
Whoa, that's a
Yes,
lot.
That's a lot of
I
hampers.
think it's a lot
It's a lot, it is. It's growing. Every year it's growing. There's more and more people that are in need, so.
So when we're talking about 1,500 hampers, how do you get those together? I mean, we've talked in the previous segments about, how you get food and all the rest. Is it somewhat similar for this one as well? Or?
Somewhat similar.
Yeah.
However, we were very fortunate this year to get a very large cash donation for our hamper project. So a lot of our food, we've already purchased it.
All right.
And it's going in, right into the hampers. It's separate from the other food that comes in that goes out regularly to our food banks. So this is specially designated for the hampers.
So this is a special hamper.
Yes, it is.
What makes it special?
There are various aspects to it that make it a little more special than the regular hampers that go, or the deliveries that go out to the food banks. I've tried to involve children and students in this project. So grade 8 students from the city schools have been coming to make cookies, homemade cookies, in our community kitchen. Now, believe it or not, we need 18,000 cookies.
Oh, that's just blows me away.
That's
Okay,
1,500 dozen. Yes.
Yeah.
And so they've been coming on Wednesdays and Fridays since I've been having them there since the end of September. They're still working at it. I've asked a lot of the elementary students, different schools, the elementary students, to make Christmas cards, homemade Christmas cards.
Oh, how nice.
That are going to go into each hamper.
Right.
And then when it comes time to packing the hampers, the high school students are invited to come for their community hours.
And why not?
And take part.
Right.
We have a pizza for them during the day and whatever. And it's really good, but it exposes them to the idea of giving of themselves, of volunteering, giving back to the community.
Right.
And several of the high school students have come for 2 or 3 years now.
And that
They've enjoyed it so much.
They just enjoy.
Yes.
So you must have an assembly line of some kind.
Yes, we do.
So what do you do with that?
Everything is set out on rollers. So I have some students making the boxes. Actually, they have to tape them all together. And then the next set are all of the goods that are going into the hampers are on this long table. And the hampers are on a roller. So the students go down and put the items from each box
Right.
into the hamper until it's full. Then there are students at the end who have learned now, who've been taught how to pack the pallet properly with the boxes.
All right.
And then tape it.
Yes.
And move it into our big room where it's stored until the deliveries.
So everything in there is managed. There would be no fresh food or anything in that.
There will be.
Oh, there will be.
Oh yes, there will be
Oh, okay.
potatoes and carrots,
Right.
onions, apples and oranges.
Okay, so nothing that's like a lettuce or anything.
No,
I'm thinking.
no,
Okay,
no.
so staples more
Yes,
than
more staples,
all right, but
yes.
anyway, they're fresh. It's
Yes,
the same
fresh,
point
yeah,
in time. And then how would I obtain one if I felt I needed one?
Again, 211.
All right.
They're the Lakehead Social Planning Council. I'm sure everyone in the community knows that, but 211 is a great partner with us in this project. So they handle all the calls. They make all the lists for us, the distribution, to give to the distribution sites. So everything just runs so smoothly.
At the end of it, do you have some kind of a celebration of with all the volunteers that have helped or something?
Well, we do have an appreciation, volunteer
right.
appreciation. Yes,
Yeah.
we do. Yes.
I think that's really important because people that give of that, every once in a while, you still need to say thank you to them.
Oh, definitely.
And we
It's
don't
so
do that
important.
well.
It's so important.
It
Yes.
is really, really important. Do you have these posters like this up around
Yes,
the
I
community?
do. Yes, we
Okay.
do. And can I just mention that there are 2 distribution sites on each side of the city
Okay.
on the 14th and the 15th of December. And there's one on the north side and one on the south side each day. And then the deliveries will be done on the 18th and 19th for those that are not able to get out due to an infirmity, illness, whatever.
Right. When would I have to actually register? What is there a deadline here? There
Yes,
has to be.
the deadline is December the 8th.
Okay. All right.
So we
if
have
you
to know
want-
by then because the lists have to be made so that the hampers can be packed and delivered for the following week.
Right. But then you just get everybody together and away you go with
And
this.
away we go. Yeah.
Where did you come up? Be the reason for the season. It's your program. So did you invent this title?
Well, you know, we were playing around with a lot of different wordings to try and make something catchy.
Right.
And this just sort of struck because it's a reason to do it, and it's the season that we're doing it.
Which makes sense.
You know, so it just came together, and it worked.
And it's a little bit more than what you normally do on the regular basis. It's
Yes,
a
it is.
special
Yes,
occasion.
it's very special.
I'm just going to pick up on the fact that you talked about cards, that the students make cards. Do they make something write in them?
Oh, they use their imagination,
all
and they're
right.
wonder They could have little kisses inside them, or small candy canes, whatever their teachers, I think, have helped them with.
Right.
And some of them are just priceless. You
That's
know,
wonderful.
It is. It's really nice. And I've asked them just to put their first name, you know, on it, or some will just say a friend,
That's okay too.
and that's all right too.
But opening that is a good feeling.
Yes, it's a very good feeling. And some of these cards are just amazing. I mean, some of these children can draw like you wouldn't believe.
June, I just,
such a good
on behalf
artist.
of the community, thank you. First for coming up with Be the Reason for the season, and also for your commitment of what you do for our community. Thank you very much. We really, truly appreciate it.
Well, the RFDA is a vital source to our community.
Right.
Very central to making sure that, as our motto says, let no one go hungry in our midst.
And that's a good way to end. Thank you very, very much. June Gaw, our guest. And of course, we're going to be finishing our program with Linda DePiro. She's going to be talking about showing you your 1-minute exercise. So make sure that you're getting ready now to do exercises, whatever it is that Linda has planned for us for today. But it's very important. So after you eat the fancy meal or the lovely meal that we get from the RFDA, then you can do some exercise. It's really important that we exercise, you know.
Yes, yes.
We don't do that enough, I don't think, as generally as speaking. But June, thanks again. This is a good program, and hopefully those people that need the program will call 211 and make sure they register.
I hope so, because everyone that needs one certainly should call and get one.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Linda DePiro, and today I'm going to teach you some techniques of body tapping. We're going to start by finding our navel, and we're going to go high to the right and low to the left. I'm using my fingers, they're pretty strong, as I kind of stimulate around this area. Why we are going right to left is that's the way our digestive system works. From here, I'm going to use fists and pound the pelvis a little bit here, all the way around. And from there, the quads are pretty strong, so you can still use fists or you can use your fingertips coming down to the shin. Now, I prefer bare feet because you can tap your feet better, and I also like the idea of grounding with bare feet rather than shoes. Going down the inner thigh, I'm still using my fists, always tap the toes. So, fascia, it requires movement, hydration, and body tapping. So this stimulates our, going down the outside, soft skeleton and connective tissue, deep and also superficial. Coming up, you can compare your lower body to your upper body. Wow. And then continue. Soft tapping through the rib cage, right? Along the collarbone, the back of the head, coming up, branching out. We will hit certain meridian areas that are very sensitive, like the ears and the armpit, okay? So I'm just gonna do one arm. You can do the other one after, tap on top. You can either pound gently or tap. So meridian, like acupuncture points, it's been around for centuries. It has been proven to improve health and well-being. It can boost energy levels, better sleep, reducing stress, anxiety, strengthens the immune system. So keep on tapping and add this to your daily morning regime and before you retire at night.